There's a moment I keep coming back to. I'm standing in a parking lot in Mallorca, Spain. It's a beautiful morning. The sun is already warm. And in front of me is a stick shift convertible sports car that I'm absolutely supposed to be driving around this island for the next 6 hours. Except I haven't driven a stick shift in maybe 25 years. And my hand is on the passenger door. I'm about to let someone else drive. I'm about to watch. And the guy running this excursion looks at me and says, "Are you sure? Because if you're not the one driving, it's a completely different experience." And I thought about every single time in the last year that I had said those words to other people. If not now, then when? Here I am, faced with exactly the kind of moment I built this whole life around. And fear is about to make me sit in the passenger seat. This is my car. Thank you very much. All right. Cool. It's awesome. I got in the driver's seat. We're going to come back to what happened next. But first, I need to tell you where I was a year ago and what this last year has actually done to me. Because it's not what I expected. It's so much more. 1 year ago this week, I posted my very first video on this channel. I want to be honest with you about something I've never said publicly before. I'd actually been living on cruise ships for 3 months before I posted that video. I couldn't say anything publicly yet because I was still finalizing my departure from my corporate career. Negotiations were still happening and I needed to wait. So while the world saw me start this journey in that first video, I had already been living it quietly for 90 days, figuring it out, making sure it was real before I told anyone. And when I finally hit publish on that first video, I said something that I meant with every part of me. I said, I feel blessed every single day. I want to tell you, 1 year, almost 15 months of full-time ship life later, this is still true. But what I couldn't have told you then is how much deeper that would go. When I left my career, I was a senior vice president. I want you to understand what that title meant to me because it wasn't just a job. It was my entire identity. It was how I introduced myself at every dinner, every conference, every conversation. It was the answer to the question, who are you? Or what do you do? I had spent decades climbing towards it. I had sacrificed for it. I had left myself, the actual me, not the professional version of me, somewhere on the side of the road about 20 years back, and just kept driving towards that title, towards that success. And when it came time to leave, I was terrified. Not of the cruise ships, not of the travel. I was terrified of one question. Without that title, who am I? I thought the answer to that question would take months to find, maybe years. It took about a week. Within days of leaving, and I mean days, of not having those back-to-back meetings pre-scheduled weeks ahead of time, that identity just fell away. Cleanly, quietly, like it was never even mine to begin with. Because here's the truth that corporate life never wants you to see. You are replaceable. We all are. The machine keeps moving. Your inbox gets reassigned, and the thing you thought was your entire identity turns out to be a role that someone else is now filling. That sounds harsh, but for me, it was the most liberating thing I have ever experienced. Because when that fell away, what was left was me. Just me. Just little old me. And she turned out to be a lot more interesting than that SVP ever was. In that first video, I said I was calling 2025 the year of the glow up. I had no idea. In the last 15 months, I have lost over 100 pounds. I am completely sober, 16 months alcohol free, not even a drop. I move my body every single day. Weights, yoga, stretching, tai chi, walking the ports, climbing stairs on ships and the land that are sometimes 17 decks high. I eat real food. I sleep so soundly. I watch the sunrise from my balcony with coffee I actually taste now because my senses work the way they're supposed to. But here's the thing I need you to understand, and this is the part that surprised even me. The physical transformation is the part you can see. It is not the biggest thing that changed. What changed on the inside is harder to explain and more important than any number on a scale. I feel peace. Not the kind of peace you feel on a good day or after a vacation. I mean a baseline, a resting state. I wake up in most mornings and the first thing I feel is I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. I spent most of my life feeling behind, feeling like I wasn't enough, feeling like the next promotion, the next milestone, the next achievement would finally make me feel settled. But it never did. This did. And I think part of it is the ocean. There's something about living on the water, about waking up every day and seeing something that vast and that indifferent to your problems that puts everything in a perspective in a way nothing else ever has for me. You realize how small you are, and somehow that makes you feel more free, not less. Change your view, change your life. I mean that literally. In my first video, I told you I was living on less than $200 a week. A lot of you have asked for an updated cost video, and I promise that's coming. Those take a long time to put together properly, and I want to do it right. But here's the honest update. For quite some time now, I have been covering my cruise fare almost entirely through casino comp offers from Princess. Port fees and taxes, yes, I pay those, always. My cell phone, my health insurance, those are my bills. But the cabin, the food, the entertainment, the travel, covered. And I need to be real with you about what that actually takes. Because I see other creators talk about casino comps like it's a hack, like it's free money, like you just show up, play a little, and collect your free cruise. That is not the full story. The full story is that this requires more discipline than anything else I do. More than the gym, more than eating healthy, more than the sobriety. And those are all hard. Because the casino is designed to feel like entertainment. It is designed to trigger something in your brain that makes you want to stay, want to win, want to chase, want to beat the game, and not step away until you have. Sweet, no hand pay. All right, this is helping me win along. I know the strategy and I know the math, and I still have days when I play longer than I should, where I increase my bet trying to win back my losses, where the logic leaves the building and something more emotional takes over. I'm telling you this because nobody else will. It's just human nature. The casino program works. I am living proof that it works. 2 days ago, I won over $13,000 in hand pays, and I started with free play that cost me nothing out of pocket. I'll have a full video on that very soon. I still need to go back to the casino and finish up this week. But it is a job. It is a means to an end. The moment it becomes entertainment, the moment I'm playing to win instead of playing to invest in my next free cruise, that's the moment it costs me more than it should. I treat it like the stock market. You will always lose to the house over time. The goal is not to win. The goal is to invest just enough, no more, no less, just enough that the return A free cruise, multiple free cruises, is worth more than what I put in. Some days I execute that perfectly. Well, some days I'm human. In my first video, I talked about meeting people. I had no idea. I genuinely had no idea what it would mean to live among people. Real people, not colleagues, not neighbors you wave at, but actual human beings from every country, every background, and every chapter of life, week after week after week. The friendships I have made on these ships are some of the deepest and most meaningful relationships of my adult life. And that surprised me because I expected to be the outsider, the person who stays while everyone else comes and goes. What actually happens is the opposite. The crew knows you, the repeat guests recognize you, you become part of the fabric of the ship in a way that passengers who come for 1 week never get to experience. And every single week, sometimes every single day, something happens that fills me up in a way I didn't even know I needed. A conversation with a crew member about their family back home.
Welcome home to the Sun Princess with my favorite Christina. Thank you. Everyone will remember her from one of my very first videos, and she's actually helping me here in Santorini bring some poached eggs and Greek yogurt
and blueberries
and helping me bring them to my room. Like, how cute is that? She is the best. If you happen to be on the Sun Princess, look at how cute she is. And in the Sanctuary restaurant, you can come see Christina.
Christina, here's my neighbor.
There's her name. So let's go check it out. My room is literally one door from the corner.
Here.
Yes. Here. That's so nice of you. Thank you. Okay, let's get this open. Christina from the Sun Princess here in Santorini. She is awesome. Say hi to Christina.
A couple celebrating their 50th anniversary who let me sit with them at dinner. A solo travel who is terrified or just needs someone to tell them they're going to be okay. I spent my entire corporate career pouring into people as a leader, mentoring, developing, clearing the path for people, especially women, to reach the peak of what they were capable of. I thought I was leaving that behind. I didn't leave it behind at all. I just found a bigger room for it. I want to talk about something I haven't really addressed publicly. Loneliness. Not the kind of loneliness you might expect. I am surrounded by people, constantly. And as I just told you, the connections are real and they're deep. But there's a specific kind of loneliness that has crept in more recently. And I think it's important to be honest about it. I could probably do a whole series on this topic. I'm at a point in my life where I want a partner, where I want that specific kind of connection. The person you come home to, the person you share the quiet moments with, the person who is there when the day is hard and when the day is extraordinarily amazing. And finding that while living on a moving ship turns out to be complicated. I meet people. Sometimes there's a connection and then the ship moves and I move with it. And they go back to their city, their country, their life, and I keep sailing. I've started to wonder if I've been booking so far in advance, cruises planned all the way through 2027, if that's the right approach going forward, or whether I need to build in a little more flexibility, more time in certain places, more space for life to surprise me in that particular way. I don't have an answer yet. This is something I'm actively working through. What I will say is this life is extraordinary, and extraordinary lives sometimes ask something out of you in return. For me, right now, that something is this. I share it because I think some of you are in a version of this same question. A life that looks perfect from the outside and is genuinely beautiful from the inside, and still has one thing that you're reaching for that hasn't arrived yet. That's not a reason not to live the life. It's just the honest version of it. So back to that parking lot in Mallorca. I got in the driver's seat. I stalled exactly 0 times We drove for 6 hours. My hands were holding on so tight to that steering wheel and stick shift, they were sore for days. We went through mountains and coastal highways and city streets so narrow I was convinced I was going to take someone's mirror off. Wind in my hair, sun on my face. A sports car and an open road. It was a red sports car. It was beautiful. All around an island I had never seen before in my life. And at some point, I don't remember exactly when, I stopped being nervous and I just drove. And I thought about the version of me from 2 years ago. The version who was behind a desk, who had a title, who had a calendar full of meetings and a soul that was running on empty. That version of me would have not fit in that seat. Literally. Not just physically, though that was true too, and I won't pretend otherwise. But I mean she wouldn't have fit in the life, the spontaneity, the yes, the if not now, then when. She was so busy being the SVP that she forgot to be Laura. I've spent 15 months finding Laura again, and she turns out to be someone who drives stick-shift convertibles through the mountains of Spain on a Tuesday morning, because a stranger handed her the car keys and asked if she was sure. She's someone who wakes up on a ship in Norway on her birthday feeling more like herself than she has in decades. She's someone who is still figuring things out. The casino discipline, the love question, the next chapter. But who's figuring them out? With the ocean outside her window and coffee in her hand, and the profound, daily, bone-deep certainty that leaving was the right call. If not now, then when? I asked myself that question when I left the corporate world. I asked it in that parking lot in Mallorca. I'm still asking it every single day because that's the whole point. That's living on cruise control. I'll see you on the next one.